Let me read a few comments very quickly. Joy Forever 74 says, our girls in Canada needs commendation. We should play to win against England. A win for England may send us out. That's what it says. If we consider heavy defeat against the English, we may just put ourselves in danger. Kevin Amata, our very good friend who watches regularly, says Aminu Megiri should use his return to right the wrongs committed, and of which he was also a victim. And he says he shouldn't contest the elections. Well, that one is a personal issue. Provided you are able to provide a level playing field for other contestants to contest, even if you participate. You may not participate and still not provide a level playing field. Yeah. So what is important is, look, come back, right the wrongs, let everybody come together as one, and provide a level playing field and throw it open as honestly as you can for the sake of the game. Wumi Adewapo says, let's not forget that Keshi is asking for a review of his contract, salary, and other working conditions. Yes, and I think he's in a position to do that. Ask for something better than what he was getting before. And I hope all of that shouldn't even take too much time. But I think Oye and Yemi have put it properly, aptly, by telling us that, look, when your house is burning, the last thing you want to think about is the rats that is disturbing. And I hope that by the time we sort all of these things out, Keshi should be back this week, and then we should be able to move forward. All right, it's time for us to go on another break now. This time we want to talk about Emmanuel Osita. I know you may not remember that name. Who is Emmanuel Osita? But it's a very sad story. Emmanuel Osita, a Nigerian professional footballer who plays his football in Burkina Faso, was in the ill-fated Algerian Airline that crashed in Mali, killing everybody on board. He was the only Nigerian on board that flight. Emmanuel Osita, a former Niger Tornadoes of Mina player, a former Jute of Jos player, was on that flight that crashed, and sadly, he was the only Nigerian on that flight. We bring you this report on Emmanuel Osita, and then come back for more on Sports Tonight.
Thursday, July 24th, 2014. A day the Osita family will live to remember. The oldest son, Emmanuel Osita, boarded an Air Algeria flight AH5017 from Burkina Faso to Algeria. Emmanuel Osita, a professional football player, was on his way to Dubai to sign a contract with a football club in the country. Before he boarded the plane, he made a telephone call to his father.
He entered the plane by 10:30 p.m. Nigerian time, but in Burkina Faso it's 10 o'clock. He asked me to pray for him for a success and a journey masses. I prayed for him. And after I prayed for him, he boarded the vehicle. And I urged him, as soon as you touch to that Dubai, call us so that we know that you have reached.
But Emmanuel Osita never got to his final destination. The Air Algeria flight AH5017 he boarded crashed in Mali en route to Algeria. He was the only Nigerian on board the aircraft.
The president of the club where he played in Burkina Faso called me that the plane Osita Emmanuel entered, they declared missing. From that moment, we know that Osita Emmanuel, my son, is dead.
Mrs. Osita has not come to grips with the death of her eldest child.
The role this boy has been playing in this family, I can never testify all. He's the boy that loved his sisters and brother. Emmanuel doesn't call me my name. If you come, everywhere will change.
For the siblings of the late Emmanuel Osita, this is a nightmare which they haven't woken up from.
Everything in this house, in fact, we call him our father.
All 110 passengers and crew on board the ill-fated Air Algeria jetliner that crashed in Mali died in the tragedy. The McDonnell Douglas 83 jet, operated by Spanish charter firm Swiftair on behalf of Air Algeria, went down shortly after takeoff from Burkina Faso on its way to Algiers. French authorities said weather conditions appear to be the most likely cause of the accident. As the Osita family attempts to come to terms with the death of their oldest son, it's been an uphill task for them to get to the remains of their son. The family has written to the Minister of Foreign Affairs to request for assistance in retrieving the remains of their son.
If they can help us to bring the dead body to Nigeria, we can go and bury him. Because as I told you before, we are financially incapacitated.
Now the French government, as I said earlier, are coordinating the investigation, and also all the bodies are not being released to the families yet. So with this, we'll talk to the parent and find out their plan. Then where government will assist, we'll do so.
While the family waits for help from the Nigerian government in getting the remains of their son, Emmanuel Osita, the greater burden they face is coming to terms with the loss of the major breadwinner of the family. Linda Kibe, Channels Television News.
What a story. Very sad story of Emmanuel Osita. We must say a very big thank you to Yemi Kosoko, our correspondent in Jos, for some of those interviews that you saw. And tomorrow we will try and do even a lot more because Yemi Kosoko caught up with Lumumba Ade, proprietor of JC Raiders, and a few of his friends and family members who are still in Jos. We will try and get you some interviews and maybe also get footages of Emmanuel Osita in action for his club in Burkina Faso. May the soul of Emmanuel Osita rest in peace. Sad one for Nigeria. Well, we've made a change. Yemadibaru has gone to work behind the scene, and Tubaru Pogo has joined us now on Sports Tonight. Onye, this is a sad one, very sad one, and you know, I don't know what you guys have to say about it.
Absolutely.
Maybe I had Emmanuel Osita. I remember that there used to be a youth corps member who was playing for Naga Tornadoes in those days, and I just remember that it must have been this same Emmanuel Osita, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
He's the same person.
Emotional too. You know, that's why we cry out all the time if these clubs are winning players. You can see the long list of
dependents
depending on this player. They are absolutely shattered, and we know that death is inevitable. But this one is, you know, quite brutish, and this player was going to better his life, going for the Golden Fleece from Burkina Faso, left Nigeria for Burkina Faso, played in Burkina Faso, was moving to Dubai to go and sign in, and unfortunately he met his untimely death. Quite emotional, you know. I saw the father there. He
holding back tears.
The mother shattered, the siblings. We can only say from this end that only the Lord can console them.
All right, let's move on. And Toby has joined us. Let's just spend some time now to look at the Globe Premier League. I mean, just sneaked in a message while he was talking about the need for us to take our players seriously. They are breadwinners. Look at the long list of dependents, and you owe these players just anyhow. Toby, let me start by reading out the results of games played over the weekend. The only away win of the week, Bayelsa United losing at home to Gombe United. Austin Eguavon going to Benin, get the results over another Benin man, Solomon Ogbede, who is the coach of Bayelsa United. Warri Wolves, Bola Sarami again to the rescue. Penalty spot against Nembe Onye. Are you counting? Onugo Rangers and Eyimba 1-1, 2 quick goals in the first half, settling the Oriental Derby. Akwa United and Nasarawa United, Nasarawa on the road getting a point, that helps them to put pressure on Pillars. Heartland 1-0 over Crown. Lobby Stars 1-0 over Sharks. Sunshine, I mean, completely whitewashed. Pillars 3-0. Abia Warriors 2-0 over El Kanemi. Taraba 2-0 over Kaduna United. Giwa Dolphins ending it 1-1. Dolphins complaining that they were done in by officiating, that they scored a good goal that the referee didn't give. That should have given them a 2-1 win away from home. Toby, before I come to you, let's bring you highlights of Sunshine against Kano Pillars. I'd like to see some of the beautiful goals scored in that game, and then we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
Range, but it didn't go the right way. Would have wanted it. Ball didn't deep at all. It just went way off target. And more interesting build-ups that came from Sunshine Stars. as they decided to make that